Good morning, good morning. How is everybody? Good, good. I'm super excited about today because we get to talk about one of my favorite things, which is my book. So I'm excited about that. We do have a couple new people in the audience, which is super cool. How many people in here have been fortunate enough to sit in open house in the last 2 weeks? Okay, who has landed a client sitting in open house in the last 2 weeks? Did you get anybody yet? 1, 2, 3. So again, what that means, guys, is that open houses work. You guys know what I mean? So that's the cool part is you guys finally get to start doing that again. You're going to be in the business, like jumping in for the first time. These guys who have been in here have been taking a beating for a year because they have not been able to sell anything because they haven't been able to build those relationships through open houses. All of my first sales were all off open houses before my friends because I had to establish myself as somebody who sold houses before my friends really wanted to use me. Does that make sense? So, so good for you guys. I'm glad that you were able to do that. All right, so I'm going to just jump right in and talk about, has anybody in here ever been a part of writing a book or ever had anything to do with it before? Has anybody here ever wanted to write one? Thought that that would be cool? All right, so I'm going to give you kind of a brief idea, a brief view of what it was like to write a book, just so you guys know. I mean, I thought it was interesting just to go through the process. It took me 2 years to write that book. And the reason that it took me 2 years is because I had never done it before. And I was trying to do the best I could to figure out, you know, how do you do it? How do you make it good? And let me tell you guys this, it is a lot harder than you think. When you start sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper and you look at the blank piece of paper, it takes forever to figure out what am I supposed to be writing down? What should I be doing? So I kind of just started out by looking back at a couple of my past presentations, and I called some English professors that I knew because I used to teach at Mount St. Anselm College, and I said, how do I write a book? And they said, well, the first thing you do is you create a PowerPoint, you know, or something along the path of a PowerPoint where you put down every single thing that you would want to be talking about. So you start out with like a general outline of like, these are the topics. So I knew that my passion was real estate, so I said, okay, well, what are the important things? You know, becoming a walking, talking billboard, which is what we're going to talk about today, open houses, social media, how can I turn strangers into friends, how can I keep clients for life? What kind of business plan do I need to have? What kind of goals do I need to set? So I just wrote all those things down of all the things that I thought was important. And then I went back to each topic and I put an outline underneath that. Okay, so what's important in a business plan? Like, what does it need to look like? Well, daily action items, right? I need to do this every day. It can't be vague. So what action items do you need to be doing every day? So I wrote those down. And then we go to the next thing, an open house. What are the 10 components that need to be in every single open house? So I wrote those down. And then I just developed it, and then I started really hitting on it. I brought Tom Wysocki in, I brought Sonia in, I met with the Zings, I met with all of our top producers, and I just tried to figure out like what are all their secrets to success. And can you guys imagine how long this stuff takes? And then we would drive out to the desert to my desert house, and we would lock ourselves in the house for 3 days and brainstorm. I flew my buddies down from up north who's an attorney, and we sat him and 2 other friends just trying to make it fun. So finally I get all this stuff together, I get all this material together, I've got my outlines, I've got the content there, and I decided, now I got all this stuff, what do I do with that? And so I called Amazon because they are the #1 book producer, you know, and I said, okay, I need to get myself an editor, you know, and a publisher, like what do I do? And they said, okay, well, we're going to give you an editor. So I said, okay, so they assigned me an editor. Immediately, you know, I know she's probably not watching, but immediately I did not hit it off with her at all because my book had a ton of cussing in it, a ton of inappropriate stories in it, like, I mean, all kinds of stuff. And she literally rattled me and made me, and so I sent her over my outline of my book. And then she sent it back with all of the things that were in red or with a line through it, meaning that your grammar was wrong or this. The entire book, 80% of it was redlined. And, you know, bad grammar. You can't put an adverb here, this, that. I mean, because I went to Elsinore High School. I mean, I'm lucky I can read. You guys know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Think about the high school you went to. You're lucky you can read. All right, so anyways, she took out all the fun stuff, took out all the curse words, took out all the inappropriate stories, and what was left is this. So that's kind of how it happened. And so put it all together, had the design covered here in marketing, and started putting them out. And it's been pretty cool. I mean, we've probably sold over 1,000 of them so far, which is cool. Some other companies around Southern California have bought them and give them to their companies when they start and all that sort of stuff. So it worked out pretty cool. Now I'm working on the next one, and this one is much, much easier because I've been there, done that. So now I know how to hit my outline. I know how to hit the topics. I know, and then as you guys know with Jenny, if you guys have watched the Monday Morning Motivations, we've reviewed so many books now that I see how other people write books, and you can see the similar themes. You can see what pieces are what pieces are linked and how they link each piece and how the flow goes and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of interesting once you start getting into, and now that I'm getting older, I can't believe it, I'm actually becoming a reader. How weird. I mean, I never read a book in my life. How many people have really never read a real book in their life, right? But all of a sudden, I hit this certain age and I'm like, I love this stuff. And I did figure out by reviewing books how to do it. So this being the book, the way this book is structured is you don't even need to read this book. You could go through, and if you see see how I kind of highlighted the name of each one of the chapters. So if you just read that, be tasteful and non-political. Do you really need to know what that means? And then I put quotes. Successful agents will immediately tell you, start by building your A+ database, top 100. You need to engage and solicit business from everyone you know, including friends and family. If you're not willing to do that, this is most likely not the career for you. So that's an example of the quotes that I dropped in here. So if you do get this book, which I think you all got it when you started, you can just read the big bold pieces and you'll be fine if you're not a reader, okay? And I tried to make the cat in the hat because we're all realtors, you know what I mean? So it's like red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish. Okay, it's pretty easy. So anyways, so that was kind of the process of putting it all together. The next one is not going to be real estate related. It's going to be more, because I've realized how many of you guys watched The Billionaire on Fired Up Friday last week? Did you guys see The Billionaire? If you looked on his desk, did you guys see what was sitting on his desk? Like when I was interviewing, I was looking on the desk, and he had Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. He had Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. He had just sitting there, Think and Grow Rich. He had and it's so funny because when he was telling you how to be a billionaire, he was not sitting here telling you how to do this action and do that action and do this piece and do that piece. He was saying, it's all right here. It took me a long time to realize that it is truly all up here. And it's all about the mindset and the persona that you carry and your positivity and all those things that embody you. And really, I think energy and enthusiasm are really the key to everything. But it's having a positive attitude and being a good person and doing all those things right. So this next book, to me, the action items are important, and you're going to be able to pick those up like from today. But really, it starts upstairs in your head. And it's those little things that maybe your experiences in your life or whatever that holds you back that are more of the problem than actually instituting the things you need to do. Does that make sense? It's our own heads that hold us back. And when I looked at Donald Trump and stuff like that, is he the smartest guy in the world? No, he's not. But does he have it going on up here? You're damn right. Does he think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread? And what's happened? He became the most powerful man in the world. He could have pressed a button and blown up a country if he wanted to, just for fun. You know what I mean? So it's really up here, right? And so watching him and those tweets and everything that he did, yet he became the most powerful man in the world. I guarantee there's people in this room smarter than him, but he's got it going on up here. So that's where kind of we have to get to. So that being the case, we kind of just have to get it together up here. That's what the Motivation Mondays are about. Wednesdays, this is about the things that are important to the actions that you need to do in terms of our salesmanship. Realtors are not considered salespeople. Like I said, if you try to leave this job and go into another sales job, you're most likely not going to get hired because the rest of the world literally does not believe we are true salespeople. And I tend to agree that in a sense we are a different type of salesperson. So one of the things, and since you're newer, I'll tell you, and you already know this, but they talked about what is the key to real estate sales success, and there's two modes of thought. There is the agent that needs to be told what to do, an agent that needs an accountability coach, that needs somebody to tell them you need to make this many calls, you need to make this many texts, and those are people that end up on teams or end up in coaching or something like that. And then there are the people that are self-motivated. Do we agree there's two types of people in the world? There's one or the other, and there's nothing wrong with being number one, but you just have to figure out which one you are. And if you decide that you're going to be number two, meaning that you are going to be the one that is self-motivated and does like to get up, everybody in this room is self-motivated. The reason that you are self-motivated is because you came here today. Does that make sense? The people that are not here most likely came up with an excuse to not be there, and they're probably sitting in front of their TV watching YouTube or doing something else, and I mean that. So that's the difference. You guys are already people that don't need to be on a team. You can motivate yourself. So that being the case, now you have to decide, what is your wheelhouse? What do you like to do? This is how I like to do the business. Now again, for people that worked with Sonia, like when Sonia and I managed Marietta, there were people that were drawn to Sonia because they like to be told, you know what, Chuck, get your ass out there, go knock 20 doors. This is what I want you to do. I'm going to be sitting right here when you get back, and I want to know the response of how many people. He said, what the response was for every door that you knocked when you get back. So that was the first thing. That was that style. For me, I was the opposite in terms of I want to know, what do you like? What do you like to do? What makes you happy? And if it's going to social events, if it's joining the chamber, if it's joining the local pet shelter, if it's going to church on Sundays, if it's working at places on Sundays, if it's working booths, whatever it may be, you're going to be each one of you is going to be a different type of person. Some people may be more analytical, so they're going to be the ones that are going to develop marketing pieces in farm neighborhoods. Some of you guys are going to rely strictly on your personality. You have to start figuring out what is your wheelhouse. So what we do with the Chairman's Club, and this is one of the biggest things that we do with them, and the Zings will tell you this when you meet with them, is so let's say they did 52 transactions last year. I have them come in and I have them say exactly where those leads came from. The general answer is, they about 90, 100% came from people I know. That's the typical answer. That's a shit answer to me. The answer I'm looking for is exactly where did those leads come from. So if any of you are working with a rental right now, if any of you are working with a buyer right now, if any of you have even received calls, even if it didn't work out, the question I would ask you to ask yourself is, where did that come from? Did that come from church? And all of a sudden, you're going to realize that you're spending $1,800 a month farming, and you've been doing it for a year, yet this little old lady over here that you're neglecting has sent you 4 people. Does that make sense? And so you have to take a look, even with where you're at now, even though you're new, the few little scraps that you've gotten as a new agent that people have come into your life and talked to you about maybe buying, maybe selling, where did they come from? That's what you have to start looking at, because your real goal is to start developing your wheelhouse. And that's what I like to call it. So the Zings wheelhouse was from 2 different things. Theirs was from, and this is the truth, was from Zillow and their database of 2,000 people that they farmed the hell out of every single day and called constantly. Every January 1st, they would get on the phone, they'd pick it up, and they'd say, hey, Lisa, this is Mike Zing. I was just checking in. Hey, it's a new year. We have a goal, and that goal this year is we want to help 50 families get into a home this year. Do you know anybody that may be looking to move in the next year? So they would do that every single year, and that would develop business. Now you can do that through social media, you can do it through stories, whatever, but that was how they developed their business, is consistently staying in contact with people. And some people, it's off of just listed cards. Some people, it's all different. So you have to start figuring out what exactly is your niche, and then thunder away at that particular niche, whatever that may be. For me, I started out cold calling vacant lots in Canyon Lake. I called every single lot owner in Canyon Lake year after year for 2 years. And I sought floor every single day, because I wasn't from Canyon Lake. So I moved in here and just started out just trying to have to build these relationships. And over time, I started building relationships with builders and started building relationships, particularly the open houses. And I have people still to this day that I'm in contact with from the open house that I met 20 years ago when I first started in this business. There is nothing better than an open house, period. End of story, done. That's why you guys that are still making it, a lot of realtors did not make it during COVID because they could not sit those open houses as a new person. It doesn't matter if you're from New Hampshire and you moved out here, you can sit in an open house and be successful, or if you're from here and moved out here, and got here and are starting to sit locally. It's going to work. So I want you to be focusing there. Okay, so that being the case, like I mentioned, I'm not a great writer, but I did reach out to everybody I possibly could in the English, in the English field, and professors from. I even went to the Marietta Valley High School English chair, and just said, "What do I do?" You know what I mean? And he helped me quite a bit. And again, I talked about the table of contents and flowing, all that sort of stuff, but it took me out quite a while. But if you're ever interested in doing it, I would always sit down with you guys and talk about it. But you have to have something. A story to sell, or something that's interesting. So, and we all have one. Everybody's got something that's gone on in their life that people might be interested in. But, and it's just another way just to kind of advertise yourself too, because now that I've written a book, I look a little bit more legit, right? Even if I'm not. You guys bought it, right? So it's all good. So anyways, like I said, that's the breaks. But that I want everybody to do here, and the goal is for me, for everyone out there, is I want to see everyone in here be really successful at real estate so that you can start buying properties and creating passive income so that you don't have to work anymore. Does that make sense? So everything that we're doing, everything that we do in real estate is to, like I said, and it's so funny, I just saw my youngest son driving by in his truck. I was going to bring him in here and pin him down right here and ask him that big question, which I say all the time, why do we work? And that's to buy real estate, right? That's the only reason we work. That's the only reason you guys need to be working, is to buy real estate, period. That's it. Every extra dollar you get needs to be put to the side so that you can buy real estate, so that you can have passive income, so that someday you can flip somebody the bird that doesn't treat you right. You know what I mean? So, or you can do the M&M thing, right? What's that line? Get weird and disappear. Nothing but clowns down here, because you got the money to do it, right? So, anyways, it's about just eventually creating yourself that that passive income. So always be thinking that. And if that, and I don't know, again, I don't know what motivates each one of you. You guys got to determine what motivates each one of you. But so anyway, okay, so commandment number 1. We've talked about this before, but I'm going to get a little bit more in depth. Number 1 is become a walking, talking billboard, right? Name tag, 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 name tag. So that's huge right there. That is becoming a walking, talking billboard. And that goes for real life, and that also goes for social media. The people that wrap their cars, I can tell you right now, I can think of at least 5 sales of people that wrap their cars or put it on their back windshield that their neighbors did not know they sold real estate and ended up getting a sale off of that. Now there is a problem. I mean, we do have a couple agents that drive like shit, and I'm constantly getting complaints from people on the road that say they cut him off and he's an asshole and he's this and he's that. I swear to God, I get those all the frickin' time. But the bottom line is, they read their number and called them. You know what I mean? So it's working. The other thing is this. And you guys know how I feel about this. This is huge. These are apparel. All right. So this is huge. I can wear this everywhere I go. Mike Zing is on the golf course right now. I just called him about meeting up with you guys. And he's on the golf course. Robin lets him go on the golf course. The only way he's allowed to go on the golf course is if he's wearing a Coldwell Banker shirt and a Coldwell Banker hat. She will not let him golf unless he is wearing that. Otherwise, he can stay home with her. Okay, so true story. And same thing with you girls. You can wear this pretty much anywhere, right? Coming from an open house. Oh, I thought I had a client to meet with this morning. You could be at a baby shower and wear this. People need to know what you do, right? Every single time. And this is easy. Now you don't have to feel like you're wearing a name tag. You guys with me? So that's one of the things, that I definitely wanted to recommend. One of the other things is a hat. I mean, it sounds crazy, but a Coldwell Banker hat, for example. And we have girls' hats, we have guys' hats, whatever. What is that? That's all you need to hear. Okay, it's not the Cowboys, it's Coldwell Banker. So that's just one of the things about being, branded. And then the other thing, and I wanted to ask you, I wanted to get more into it this time. What things are you a part of? What are your interests? Now that COVID is over, I see that. Oh, Coldwell Banker mask, I like it. All right, good. But what things are you a part of? Because everybody is a part of something. What is your passion? Oh, I'm not a part of anything. Yes, you are. You just got to think about what that is. So, for example, I play a lot of golf. That's a perfect example of an opportunity for me to wear that. For some of you guys or ladies, maybe it's, Gabby, you are in with pet shelters, or because I always see you with different animals and stuff, right? So that's something right there. Do you have anything else? I mean, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they what old is the oldest?
She'll be in kindergarten.
Okay. Okay. So anytime you can be the assistant in the school.
Yeah.
Anytime you can, and I've said this a million times, and I'm sorry to keep saying it, but I don't care. You have the opportunity. When you are you have an opportunity with kids that little. They leverage the shit out of you. They're expensive. They yell, they scream, they whine, all right? You can use them, too, to make business. And I built my business off of my kids. And Jennifer Murphy built her business off of her kids. She moved, and you're going to hear me talk about this a little bit later, I'm using her because a lot of you guys know her, but she was on the show. But she moved from Hemet, and she made a big move. She spent her life and was born and raised in Hemet, and she moved to West Marietta. So moving to West Marietta, luckily she still got to keep that peace and that connection out in Hemet. But when you move to a new area, you're basically starting over. And it is a, guy, right? You're from the East Coast, right? So when you first move out here and you get into the real estate business, it is brutal because you know no one. You literally know no one. So your job is to get known, right? Your job is to get known. So, and whether it's through your kids' sports, being the team mom and all that stuff like we talk about, whether it's through charities. The one cool part about charities, and this is true, number 1, you get to give back. Number 2, it's good karma. Number 3, people that are involved in charities generally have money. It's the truth. For some reason, they've reached the point where they realize it's not about money, and then they move on to philanthropy. And those are the people that can be great clients. You may meet them online. And for those of you that don't have the opportunity to, or maybe you have kids at home, or you're in some other situations and you aren't a part of anything, create them. Like for my clients, every single year when I lived in the lake, but back when I was selling, I threw a poker tournament every single year in my house. It was a shit show. All right, and it was great because once a client has been in your house, they're going to continue to use you. And they never miss that tournament. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? It was a mess, and they love it, all right? So, because the thing I'll tell you is most people don't have a life. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They don't have a life. So if you invite them to your house for poker, if you invite them to your house for a barbecue, if you invite them out for cocktails, if you invite them to anything and everything that's going on, you're gonna get a victory from it because they're not being invited places. And the goal is to be building those relationships, right? And again, that's why I say, we get paid to be social. That's what's so cool. Anything and everything we do is an opportunity to find somebody that's looking to buy or sell. Everything. Everything. You don't even know it. You could be going to the grocery store and strike up a conversation because you got that apparel on, because you got that name tag on. So just remember that everything you do that's what the best part about this business. And for us, it's the same thing. So on the 17th, and I'm just going to tell you how we use it in our company. Number one, you guys are all here now. Did you guys all meet and were you talking? And Jenny was talking about how you guys were all like chatting before it all happened. So if I brought in clients, if you guys were clients, it'd be the same thing, right? So we are taking the Chairman's Club and the Silver Club. You'll hear this at the meeting next on the 17th. We're taking them all to Del Mar, and they get to bring their spouses. And we're going to be at the Del Mar racetrack for opening day. It's no different than what you could be doing with your clients. Do you guys understand? I know like Leif Hansen, for his neighborhood, he brings in a churro cart and just tells every single person in the neighborhood, come by for free churros. The Ramseys, who live here in Canyon Lake, I went to their party 2 weeks ago. They had an ice cream truck out front and invited, and I'm not kidding you, when I was there was at least 100 people at their house and people stopping by the whole time. So they're social farming and creating the events to bring people to them. Do you know what I mean? So that is a really great way to go. And again, what are they looking for? Opportunities. Now, some of it's just fun. Having a poker tournament and the shit show, even if I didn't sell anything, I love a good shit show. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's the best. All right. So again, we talked about obviously the apparel and all that stuff. So when I was talking about Jennifer coming over from Hemet and making the transition into West Marietta, part of the reason that she did that is because she wanted to raise her price point. You guys know what I mean, right? And the price point at the time when she moved over was probably about 200 grand in Hemet, which wasn't so long ago. Now it's 400 grand, okay, because of what's happened with COVID. And when she came over, I remember we were talking, and she said, okay, so what do you think? And I said, all right, well, number one, your son plays football. Be the team mom. So her and her husband got really involved in football. They go to all the parties. All the parents were together all the time. She was just at one. She called me on Saturday. She goes, Chuck, it's been a few years, but it's still working. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I went to one of the parties with all the old football parents. She goes, I'm taking a listing on Monday for 1.3 million. So all just off of those relationships of working with those people. She also joined the PTA, the Parent Teachers Association. So now she knows all those people and is keeping in contact with them, putting them in a database. All the owner brokers that she's ever met, she goes to all of our events. So for example, when we do the big, you guys weren't here, but like our typical event, guys, was about 1,000 people that we would put on before. And right now, obviously with COVID, they got crushed. But she would meet all the owners of all the different real estate companies, add them to their database. They still to this day call me and say, I just got a lotto ticket from Jennifer Murphy. And I know for a fact the owner of Coldwell Banker West down in San Diego has given her at least 5 closings. And I know for a fact that the owner of Coldwell Banker in Long Beach has given her at least 2 closings. So you see what I'm saying? So she's taking every opportunity to network with every single person she possibly can. So just kind of what you guys need to be doing. And again, we talked about all that sort of stuff. And when I was talking about branding, when I'm talking about the apparel and stuff like that, why do companies pay people like Michael Jordan millions and millions and millions of dollars to wear their Nike stuff? Because it works. It works. It's branding. Just do it. You know what I mean? It's branding. And so there's other things too, but you being in your apparel, you being with your name tag is going to make a huge difference. And if I have that on everywhere I go, remember, I'm screaming from the mountaintops to everybody, I sell real estate. So really, there's no reason for you to ever go anywhere without wearing apparel. Go in there and buy some shit. It's worth it. It's the best thing you could possibly do. And I think there's some right now. We're trying to figure out what people like so we can order more. And at the meeting, the sales meeting next week, is that next week? On the 16th or 17th, whatever day that is, we'll be selling a bunch too. Bring a couple bucks and buy a couple things that you like and wear them constantly. And it's also nice to not worry about what you have to wear every day. You're done. Locked. Go look at Margaret. She's always wearing the same thing every day. Okay, so what about branding? Do you guys feel that you have individual specialized branding that makes you memorable? That's my question. Do you have memorable branding? Have you guys heard of the Super Zings? Okay, that's what Mike and Robin have been known for their entire career, the Super Zings. They used to drive through Canyon Lake on Fiesta days wearing a Superman costume with a Z on it, and she would be Superwoman with a Z on it, and all the grandkids and everybody were dressed in costumes, throwing out zingers. You guys know the zingers, throwing out zingers to everybody, because they wanted to be remembered. And when you hear the name Super Zings, now again, they're kind of retiring out now because they don't need to work anymore because they were smart. But it's the same thing for you guys. Are you memorable in your marketing pieces? So if I got lucky, I didn't have to do much because my last name is Whitehead. That's pretty friggin' memorable, okay? So the question is, what are you doing with your marketing to stand out from the crowd? What, so have you guys, and again, you may not know him yet because we haven't had a chance to get together a lot, but do you guys know John Hill? You've seen him on the show? So John Hill, and you'll see him standing on top of a mountain being John Hill, helping you reach the top of your dreams or whatever. That's marketing. So do you have something that you are doing that is memorable that will make me think, Lisa, Jessica Wells, what does that mean? What can I do with that? Or are you guys just throwing your name out there hoping people remember it? That it'll be good, but it's not going to be as memorable as if you come up with some form of branding. So does anybody else have any cool branding in here that they're doing for themselves? What do you got, Don? All right, I like it. And you're just going to, and what are you going to say?
I walk around my neighborhood for exercise.
Uh-huh.
And when I see someone, I give them my card, and especially if it's an older person with a cane, we'll have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll get to talking, and I'm sure they'll remember me
Mm-hmm.
as one of them because I need a cane to walk.
Right. Right, so you're using that to brand yourself with it, which I like. I mean, so making yourself memorable. Whatever happens, making yourself memorable. And you have a great attitude, which is huge. You know what I mean? Anybody else have anything they're using? I mean, I like the name Guy. That's a pretty easy one. You're a guy in real estate. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I don't know if you're using any marketing for that, but, and again, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but whatever that marketing may be. So if I said your guy in real estate, you know what I mean? Or the guy in real estate would probably be better. And then you put that on your marketing pieces. You put that on your card, you put that on your Facebook, you put that on your LinkedIn, you put that on your Instagram, you put that on your Google, you put that on your Zillow, you put that everywhere you possibly can, so that whenever anybody's looking for anything, you see the guy, Scada, in real estate. You know what I mean? So just a thought. Yeah, it's a good one. What else we got? Corey Bryant. You're getting married though, right? Is that going to be your last name?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, if we're gonna ask anything.
We are.
All right. How about
the new last?
You've been watching the Padre games? Oh, okay.
The new
All
last
right.
name's long.
There's still gonna be the new last name. Okay, I'm
gonna hyphenate.
Okay, you're gonna hyphenate.
New last name's Blankenship.
Blankenship?
I might stick to Bryant. That's a little more.
I like Blankenship.
Well, I only changed my last name for 10 years. You're totally
I can hyphenate it and have the option.
He can change his name to yours. Okay, that's the way it's gonna be.
Okay, I did it.
All right. All right. Yes.
I had an idea, but
Let's
I
hear it.
was too scared to use it.
Okay, let's hear it,
so
Leanne.
I could throw it out and see
Bring
what
it.
you think. Because my name's Leanne Murray,
Mhm.
so I was thinking Matchmaker Murray, matching you up to the right house.
Okay, so here's the thing. Don't overthink it, do it. Because any branding is better than no branding. Does that make sense? So just do it. Just do it. Don't overthink things. Yes?
I have not just adorable, trustable, because I want people to trust.
Your last name is adorable, right? The most, yeah. Your last name is adorable, right?
And everybody talks to me about it.
I love it. Work that shit. All right, Jessica.
I have one where it says, I'm bringing faith into real estate. Kind of that's my little slogan thing.
Bring faith into real estate.
Yeah, I'm bringing faith into real estate.
Okay.
That's-
Expand.
It seems to be working. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So is it as a religious overtone?
Yeah.
Okay,
a
good.
little bit, yeah.
Okay, good.
Seem to, the trusting open door, type.
Okay, all right, good. Let's talk more about that. Dylan.
I usually brand myself as the agent that answers their phone.
I like that. And then they call you, you don't answer. Oops! Yeah. Okay, all right. Oh, that's funny though. Okay, cool. I like that one though. See, I think you should put that. I always answer my phone. Just that alone.
Yeah.
So, and that's Chris Hansen's key to success, by the way. That's the Hansen McCoy boys. He will literally put his hand right in his wife's face and take that call no matter what. Hey, I love you. Whoop, sorry, I gotta go. You know what I mean? And it worked. All right, so commandment number 2, and I know we talked about this last time, but I want to talk about the open house again, because there's 5 or 6 of you that have sat them, and there's people that haven't. So again, if I were to retire from doing what I'm doing, I would immediately go back to sitting open houses, because they don't bother me. What an easy life. Yes, setting them all up sucks. All right, setting them up, putting up signs, and people swerving into you, and it's raining, and it's this, and it's that, and all that. It's annoying, okay? And that part you hate. But what does it take you really? 30, 45 minutes? And yet, it's an easier life than anything else. But so here's 9 tips from open houses. Some of them you already know. Number 1, Michelle Carnley, who is in the company right now. She's met with a couple people. She hits neighborhoods hard, and she sends out hundreds of pieces prior to. anything that she does. And she took a listing, is taking a listing right now off the open house that she had on Saturday for something that was delivered to the door of one of the neighbors. So that's how it works. So just be aware of that. Number 2, signage and location. Don't ever sit in an open house that is not off of the main, that is not near the main or the main thoroughfares. Well, I'm not going to sit at Yonner. I'm not going to sit at a house that's back off a street, back off a street, back off a street, back off a street. I'm going to sit on the main thoroughfares. I don't want to sit on Sun City Boulevard. Yes, you do. I don't want to sit on Marietta Road. Yes, you do. I don't want to sit on Washington and Marietta. Yes, you do. You guys with me? You want to be at the high, because all you're trying to do is get people in for traffic. So high profile areas, and again, you already know this, I'm going to say it again, so I'm going to move fast right now. The number of signs equals the number of people that you're going to have through the property. So if I have 3 signs, I'll get three groups through. If I have 20 signs, I'll get 20 through. So you guys already know some of this stuff, so I'm going to move fast. We talked about the root beer float method, right? What do you have in the house when they get there that gets them to engage with me? So what is it going to be? If I don't have anything, they're just going to say, just looking. But if I say you want a root beer float, hey, I got some peanut butter whiskey in the back. Talking about some fun. Whatever. I mean, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that one. But whatever it may be. Number 4, don't forget, we collect information. We don't hand out cards. We collect information. That is our job. And the best way to do that, number 1, with COVID, that's a big thing, right? Because they have to fill out the forms when they come in. But number 2, I always say this, please do not sit any open houses without a drawing. A fishbowl with people's names in it and whatever, 4 Starbucks cards for $10. And you know what? Everybody who puts their name in wins. You guys know what I mean? Oh, you didn't come in with a realtor? Well, guess what? You're going to win. Does that make sense? You come in with a realtor, or when you're asking the qualifying questions and you find out that they're already working with somebody, then no, I'm not going to do that. But make sure that you have the fishbowl. Is that terrible? Well, I'll still draw their name, all right? And I guess I have to if they put their name in, it's fine. But I might not even tell them about the drawing or whatever. Okay, so strike while the iron's hot. You guys know that. Do you know the number 1 goal in real estate is to create urgency? Urgency is everything. Urgency is, there is this property that popped up. It's not going to last. It's probably going to be gone by tomorrow. Would you like to take a look at it? I'm telling you, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. So if you want to take a look at it, do you want to go take a look? Would you guys want to take a look right now? I would. All right, because I just sold you on it. It's badass. Have you seen the pool? So anyway, so urgency, and again, immediate action. And if I'm at an open house, don't forget, close the damn thing if you get somebody that's hot to trot. If somebody is ready to go and they're hot to trot, close that house. Is the seller going to be pissed? No, because you're going to call the seller and say, good news, I had somebody interested. I was going to take them out and show them a couple others. The open house was a success. I'll let you know how it goes. And another thing, have a list of vacant homes with you. So that way you can say, you know what, when I close up, we're going to go take a look at these couple homes. That way you don't have to worry about making appointments or getting COVID this or doing that or whatever. Keep a couple vacant homes with you so that you can zip out. And am I really trying to find them that house at that moment? No. I'm trying to build rapport, right? And make them like me and get to know who they're about and talk to their kids and talk to their wife and get to know them as people, right? And hopefully they get to know you. Ask the questions. Number 6, syndication. We know about that already, right? You have to tell the listing agent to make sure that they put it in the MLS on Monday or Tuesday, not Thursday. On Monday or Tuesday, they have to switch it to an open house in the MLS coming up that weekend. The reason that you have to do that is if you don't, it won't be put out anywhere online. Most of the people are going to come to your open house because they found it online. If you don't tell them to syndicate, that's on you. Same thing with you putting it out on social media and also dropping it into community Facebook groups. If you're in Temecula Talk or you're sitting in Temecula, whatever it may be. So you have a responsibility too for social media and community groups. So, number 7, maximize your downtime. Don't go in there and watch football games. I want you to go in there and I want you to text people. I want you to invite over your friends. Just start texting 10 or 20 people that you know that are friends of yours saying, hey, I'm sitting in an open house, I'm bored, why don't you come over here and have a root beer float? Come hang out, I haven't seen you in a while. Or personal notes for the holidays, maybe write those out. If you're sending out Father's Day cards to some of your clients, Mother's Day cards, if you're doing St. Patrick's Day cards, whatever it may be, while you are there, have something to do so that you are not only waiting for people to walk in, but you're also productive if nobody does walk in. Because back before COVID, guys, you would get 5 groups and that's a success. Now you're getting 50 groups. So it's different. But just make sure that you're maximizing that downtime. Number 8, don't make it short. I've talked about this before. Not 2 hours, not 3 hours, not 4 hours. Try to sit 6 hours, as long as you possibly can. Number 9, we talked about this, rainy days and holidays. 1 person on a rainy day or holiday is worth 3 on a sunny day. Those are legitimate buyers. New Year's Day, I told you, I've had, one of the biggest sales I ever had was hungover as hell on New Year's Day. But I sat there and I did it, all right? So just something to keep in mind. All right, so commandment number 3, how are we doing on time? Okay. Commandment number 3 is to become an online rock star. You guys have probably sat through the Instagram class and the Facebook class and stuff like that we've had, but this is going to be a little bit different. Number 1, like I said, some of you guys are not getting any appointments whatsoever because of your social media being so bad. And some of you newer people, you're dead. If you are not putting on there, if you're not going out and previewing homes, if you're not showing yourself at the office, if you're not highlighting something that the company sold and making it look like you sold it, if you aren't, going out, even if you're going out on an inspection with somebody else or sitting in open house, here I am sitting in the open house today or whatever, you have a responsibility to build your social media to look as if you are someone that you would want to use. You know what I mean? How's your social media for real estate so far? Would you use you?
I made a post yesterday.
All right, keep them coming every single day. Every single day. But I'm talking about stories. Remember, we post 1 to 2 posts a week on our Instagram and our Facebook, and stories 2 to 3 times a day, right? You guys remember that, right? And again, one of those stories each day needs to be applying somehow to real estate. One of them, just one of them. The other 2 are going to be about whatever your hobby is or whatever you like to do or whatever. Did you guys, how many people in here watch my stuff? You see me talking about this show today, yesterday? Did anybody see the one about the geese on the beach? Did anybody see that? So the point with that, though, is now you saw it, right? And that's all I care about is that you saw it. And then I care about my client seeing it. But then if I attach the one before that, you would see was a picture of me in the studio with Jenny. So you see what I do. But you see what I'm doing? I'm mixing my business with my personal. My business with my personal. So just something to keep in mind. But I know if you guys are not consistently posting things, you're in trouble, okay? Online persona, again, the branding needs to be across the profiles. We talked about that guy, right? You're the guy in real estate. Needs to be across all of your things. Now, I don't care if you are specializing in just LinkedIn or specializing in just Facebook or whatever, but your other profiles need to be complete. They have to be complete. And if I go onto any of your profiles right now and I can't find your phone number, I lose my shit. I do. When I'm trying to find real estate people's phone numbers and I can't find them, I want to kill you. Because it is so frustrating because clients are doing the same thing. They're going to look for you for about 3 seconds. And again, on the backdrop of your Facebook, with your photo, put your phone number in the corner. Put your phone number in the corner. If I cannot pop it up immediately and see your phone number, you're dropping the ball because they will use somebody else. Trust me. And make sure, again, that your backdrop shows what you do. I need to be able to pull you up and right now know that Corey Bryant sells real estate, like right now. Okay. What about reviews? How many people in here have reviews? How many people do not have reviews yet? Okay. Just out of curiosity, does that seem like a problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you shown even a rental yet? Anything? Have you have anybody that you know?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
My husband gave me a review, but that doesn't count.
It does count.
It looks like a fake. It looks like a fraud. Of course he's gonna give me a 5-star. He wants my money.
I love this woman. She's great.
Yeah.
5 stars, baby. Hey, at least he didn't give you a 1 star.
Yeah.
He's mad at you. You know what?
Yeah.
All right. So right now, I want you to pull out your phones. Everybody, pull out your phones. Pull up Facebook. Everybody go on to Facebook. Tell me when you're all on there. Go to the Chuck Whitehead Show. Tell me when you're there. Okay. So now you see the little line that has all the different things here. So see where it says home, groups, posts, reviews. You guys see that little line there underneath the Chuck Whitehead Show? So I'm going to click on reviews. Okay. And what just popped up? So click on reviews. You see it? You're scrolling the wrong way. Where are you? So right here. So do you recommend the Chuck Whitehead Show? You're going to click yes right now. Everybody do it. Everybody click yes right now.
Share our experience.
Share your experience.
Why not?
Yeah. Say something nice and pick 5 stars. You two out there, if you're watching the show, pull your phone out, a-holes, and do it. All right? I'm just kidding. You're really nice. Okay, and then just write something nice and choose the review. Now, why am I having you do this?
To get more reviews.
No, because guess what, guys? I have a surprise. I have a surprise for you. Now you know how to ask people to review you. Do you understand? That's how easy it was to get you guys to review me. Therefore, you can do the same thing with everybody that you're with.
Just don't ask the people you're asking to review. Don't call them a-holes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was supposed to stay in my head.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just click share, yeah.
Hey, a-hole, give my business a good review.
All right, so did you guys do it? All right, so did you guys see how easy that was? Now, who in here has a personal page and who has a business page?
What?
Business page and a personal page. Okay, good. So you cannot review a personal page, right? You're going to review a business page. This is one of the only reasons for you to have a business page. So I have Chuck Whitehead's Facebook, my personal Facebook. I have my Instagram, and I have the Chuck Whitehead Show. You guys should have your Instagram, your personal Facebook, and the Dylan Hafner, real estate page. And then every 2 months or so, you go in and invite everyone to like your page. And then you do some form of a drawing to get them to do that. So what's really cool is I'll go to a big event and I'll do exactly what I did and there'll be like 500 people there. So next thing you know, boom, everybody does it. And then you're gonna have a drawing for everybody that does it. You guys with me? So, but did you guys see how easy that was? Does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable in asking people for reviews? That was how easy it was, okay? However, the number one priority, 95% of your time, needs to be spent on your personal page because people want to know you, right? They want to know you. They want to know about you. They want to know if you have kids. They want to know what your situation is. They want to know what you're going through. They want to see, and peppered in there is what you do for a living and your business and all those sorts of things. So it is important, though, that you spend the time. And again, how many stories a day if you can? 3. How many posts a week? 1 to 2, right? That's it. So just keep that in mind. And don't forget, so when I posted that geese one yesterday, I was just having fun with it. So I posted it, and remember, and I said, what's the metaphor for geese? And people were texting me privately saying, well, geese mean that there's a new beginning to your life and blah, 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 blah. And I was getting all kinds of stuff, right? So it was fun just to engage, but I said, hey, put that on the page, on the Facebook page. Because remember, if Dylan comments on my page and then I respond back, now he's going to show up at the top of my feed, or I'm going to show up at the top of his feed every single time, right? So I'm doing it to build engagement. And remember, every time somebody engages to something that you posted, especially on Facebook, it's only in Facebook, Instagram doesn't work the same, they're going to show up at when you post, you're going to be top of their feed, right? So just make sure that everything you post, when you're doing those stories, you're trying to engage. And when you're doing those posts, you're trying to engage, because that is a conversion, right? Okay, won't beat that anymore. So we talked about signature, your nickname and your branding. I think that's important, and I want you to really do that. Make sure you do it across all your platforms. And I want you to really try to be consistent with your social media. Be consistent. Don't miss. Okay, Leanne? Don't miss. We're not going to miss. We're going to post. Being in here today, some great ideas to really kick some butt with my marketing on your home when you call me for your listing. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just make sure that you're consistently posting, and always trying to be memorable. Whatever you're doing, be memorable in a good way. Okay? Me calling people a-hole, that wasn't good. I'm regretting that one already, okay? But I did it. So, and now that Adam's going to bring it up later, too. Great. And then again, what are the big 6 that you guys have? How many people in here, if I Google your name, is your picture going to come up on the right side of the page? Dylan, 323. And is that because of Becca?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you guys have all met with Becca and made sure that when you type in your name, your picture and your write-up comes up on the left side of that page with everything that you want to look the way you want. So that's Google. That's number 1. How many people are on LinkedIn? Okay. Are your profiles complete on LinkedIn? Is your picture the same on Google as it is on LinkedIn? Okay, good. All right. How about Zillow? How many people have complete Zillow profiles? Raise your hand. I hate Zillow, but do it. Okay. I mean, Jennifer Murphy, I think, has had 3 sales, doesn't spend a dime, has had 3 sales so far off of Zillow. So, yes.
You can do, if you get 90% for over rating, you also get voted best of Zillow, which I'm part of.
You're best of Zillow. I like it. Look at you go.
Yeah, I get referrals from there.
Perfect. The other one is your Coldwell Banker profile. Are all of your Coldwell Banker profiles complete? Because you will not get referrals if they're not. And people get referrals from other Coldwell Bankers across the country all the time. But if you do not have a complete photo, and if you do not have the zip codes that you work in there, you will never get a lead. Same with Zap. When you get the online leads that convert, you won't get those either. Just make sure your coldwellbanker.com profile. Do you handle that, Michael, or do we have somebody else do that?
Yeah, I handle that.
Okay, so
and Robert sets up their zip codes.
Okay, Robert sets up the zip codes. So if you want to have your Coldwell Banker profile looked at, you can hit up Michael and he'll do that. Next is Yelp. How many people are on Yelp? Okay, Yelp's a dangerous slope. You guys know that, right? If you are not asking people for reviews on Yelp, there's only going to be one type of person that is reviewing on Yelp, and that is somebody that is pissed off.
Karens.
Right? What's that?
Karens.
Karens. Karens. So, we were guilty of that. We neglected our Yelp and then realized later that we only had 2 reviews, and it was from property management, 2 tenants that we had to evict. And let me tell you, they were not nice to us, okay? But you need to pay your rent, you know? So whatever. But so that happens too. So remember, if you are not asking for reviews, you're only going to get one type of person that is giving you those reviews, right? So keep that in mind. So that's the fifth one. And the last one, of course, is Facebook, your business page. Be careful with what you post on your business page, simply because if it's boring, you're in trouble. It has to be exciting. And it's very difficult to post anything fun at all on your business page. So just something to keep in mind. So LinkedIn needs to be dialed in. Google, Zillow, CB, Yelp, and Facebook. All the same photos, all the same branding, all the same bios, all the same colors. Everything about it all needs to be the same. You know what we'll do, Adam? We'll do the social media scorecard as one of the classes in here next. Will that be a good one?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that one where literally we will go through, we will choose 2 of you guys, and we will review your entire social media, and we will show you the grades that you have now and the grades that you will get by the time we're done redoing your social media. So we'll redo it, all right? So we'll do that one in one of the next 3 or 4 classes, but it is important. And I'm telling you, you're gonna think you're dialed in until you see these scorecards. And then you're gonna be like, oops. And again, like I mentioned before, is your phone number right there? I don't know how many times I've gone on LinkedIn looking for people, and the phone numbers are wrong, or they're not there. You know, and sometimes you'll go into Facebook and it'll be like, and I don't know, has this happened to you, Michael, and am I stupid right now? But I've gone on and tried to email people and it goes to like, Chuck at Facebook, blah, blah, blah.com. I never get that email. You know what I mean? So make sure that your email that's listed in these things is your email, so that if people are trying to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you. Because even one deal, like all of a sudden you didn't put your email right somewhere, or you didn't have your phone number right, and you lose one deal with the average sales price in Temecula of $717,000, you just lost $20,000 because you didn't have your phone number on your Facebook because they couldn't reach you, right? That just gets me so upset. I need to calm down. Hang on. All right. Okay. All right. So again, we talked about managing your reviews. Uber, Amazon, you know, everything. How many people in here How many people have ordered something on Amazon in the last 2 days? Okay. How many people checked the star rating on it? Okay, everybody. Would you use you if you didn't have any reviews? I'm sorry to keep saying that, but I'm being honest. They're looking for your reviews too, just like you're looking up that toothpaste and that toothbrush and all that sort of stuff. Would you use you? You know, and again, just right now, I just picked up 12 more reviews in this situation. It's not difficult. It just has to be on your mind. You guys with me? So, how many reviews do you have, Gabby? Okay, maybe we should. Why don't you pull it up and let's check it? All right. Who else has reviews? Pull it up, Dylan. How many do you have?
Not very many.
Let's hear it, man.
On Google, I have like 3.
Okay, Google though.
Reviews, but
okay.
It's all 5 out of 5 stars, and that's how I got my last listing.
Really?
Yeah. He just called me. He literally just Googled Realtors Canyon Lake. I was the top one. He came at the top. He said, hey, you have a review posted on there who said that you sold his house within 3 months. And this was pre-COVID, by the way. Not when everything was selling in 2 days. And he goes, I need my house sold in the next 3 months, so it sounds like you're my guy.
What was the list price on that?
$485.
So about $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his 3 reviews on Google got him $10,000.
And they got it for 6% too. Like he was fully willing to do it because of the review.
You're getting a hug when we're done. I'm very proud of you. So that's great. How many you got, Gabby?
I have 8 on Google.
And what's your star rating?
5 out of 5.
Okay. So you have 8. That's solid. All right. So do you remember when we had the owner of Coldwell Banker Premier in Las Vegas on, and he said that every day needs to be a day spent with intent? Do you guys remember that? And what he was talking about is he was saying, how many people in your database now, and how many people do you want to have in your database by the end of the week, by the end of the quarter, or by the end of the month, by the end of the quarter? So again, you're not just adding people onto your Facebook and adding people on your Instagram as you meet them. You're doing it with intent. Right now, I have, on the Chuck Whitehead Show, 2,766 followers. My goal is to be at 3,000 by the end of July. You guys with me? Like, I'm using that as an example. But we have to have intent. So right now, Dylan, you have 3 Google reviews. What's your goal, and when are you going to hit it, and how many?
5 more within 2 months.
Okay, 5 more within 2 months. I'll bet you could get 5 more today. All right, so how about 5 more by next Wednesday?
Okay.
All right? How many by next Wednesday?
Hopefully at least 1.
Okay, how about 2? Hey, your mom can do it. I love her. She's so sweet. She'd be a great real estate agent. 5 stars. I'll take it. Somebody's going to read that and go, that is really cute. And then, you know, maybe somebody that you showed a rental to. Hey, would you mind just giving me a quick review? And a lot of times you'll go places like, I had somebody come over and they fixed my air conditioning unit last week. It went out. And he said, hey, it's $225. And I said, okay, cool, you know, whatever. And I start writing, he goes, stop. And he goes, 185 if you write me a review right now while we're standing here. I said, okay. So I busted out my phone, wrote him a review, done. You guys with me? Pretty smart. I was like, okay, you know. I thought that one was huge. I was at a bar. Yes, I was at a bar 10 years ago, and I just had moved down to Marietta from Canyon Lake. I'm back at Canyon Lake now. And I walked in with a friend, and I started hitting it up, talking to the bartender. And she was saying, oh, where are you from? I said, I just moved to the area, you know, blah, 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 blah. I have an office I'm going to be working at over here in Marietta, yada, yada. She's like, oh, cool. She said, well, we have a lot of fun stuff going on here once in a while. You should check back in with some. I said, okay, cool. And I started saying, okay, well, and I had a beer, and I said, okay, have a great day. And I started walking back out. By the time I hit the door, she had already friend requested me on Facebook and Instagram to follow. So, and then all of a sudden I said, yes, okay. And this, I learned from her more than anything. And next thing I know, I'm getting all of the events that they have going on and finding out about the Marietta Mud Run. You know, they were posting everything about all these different things. And I ended up selling her house, and now she's an agent at this company. All because she hit me up and friend requested me at that moment, and I barely knew her, and now I know her very well. Probably because I kept coming back to the bar. Okay, but anyways, but the whole point being that, like, you know, make sure that you're adding people. So again, I would love to see you guys get a couple more reviews. The most important one, it used to be Zillow, but Zillow is no longer our friend. You guys know that. So the most important one, I personally believe, is Google. So, you know, again, when that page pops up on the right, if you could figure out while I'm sitting here, Corey, pull out your phone. You know what I mean? And you can ask a client that, pull out your phone, boom, 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 have them do that while you're standing there. Even if it's a friend, okay? Like anybody that you can possibly get to add, because those stars are everything, everything. And again, your online reviews and your online presence and your online persona are sometimes more important than the listing presentation themselves. Probably didn't care much about that listing presentation. You said you talked to him on the phone.
I talked to him on the phone.
And he said, you're the one I want to use.
Yeah.
Didn't even see your listing presentation yet.
I didn't even look at the house either, because actually I had woken up the morning before, and I could have sworn I had COVID. I had all the symptoms and everything. So I was sick in bed, and I told him, I said, hey, you know what, I'm sick, I'm going to get tested today, but let me send one of our other agents over to go look at the house for you. So
nice.
I sent Jen over to go look at the house, and they connected really well. They both had, you know, similar, they were both involved at the same church. They
Right.
Head of the church.
Right.
So that they connected on that level.
Nice.
He came back to me, and he was like, you know what, yeah, I definitely want to use you. So I said, okay, great.
Nice.
And the next day, or no, that night, I emailed him the contract to sign, and he signed it.
Off a Google review. That just gives me the one. Yeah, Mike.
I say on top of Google reviews, through your Coldwell Banker site, you can get reviews from your clients on there. And that's
Right.
how I know a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Leif got a referral from an agent out of Florida, somewhere like that. Their mom had a property in the Colony. That agent was a Coldwell Banker agent, like I said, Florida, wherever. They just went to Marietta, searched for agents. Leif popped up with good reviews. They called Leif, said, hey, I'm a Coldwell Banker agent. My mom's selling her house in the Colony. You know, yeah, he had to pay a referral fee, but he got a check that he wouldn't have gotten before.
Love it. Love it.
Purely based on that.
Love it, love it. And the complete, and you guys know our number one agents last year, Tony and Bree. They had a sale in July off of their complete coldwellbanker.com profile for 1.8 million, and then and then they got a 2.1 million off that same client and a 1.6 million off that same client, all because they were complete with their profile. So don't underestimate it, and don't feel like screwing around with your profiles is a waste of your life, because a lot of people are like, this is an unproductive day. It's not. Being dialed in on that stuff is not an unproductive day. Okay. So anyways, set aside time when you're with individual people, wherever you are, you know, whoever it may be, and ask them to write a review for you. It's not that hard. You just got to remember, and you'd be surprised. Even around the holidays, have your brother write one, have your sister write one. You know, if you showed them property, if you did anything, if you've talked real estate with them, just have them throw something up there. You have to have information out there, or people just aren't going to use you. And again, if you don't, what's going to be there? Either nothing or bad reviews. And that's what we really want to avoid. And again, like I said, I do get quite a few calls, and there are people that will post on you based on the fact that you cut them off on the freeway and had a sticker on the back of your car or car wrapped or whatever. It happens all the time. Just stuff. Anyways, that's basically some of the stuff. And when it comes to Facebook, if you guys saw Tristan Ahumada, the guy from Lab Coat Agents who we had on Fired Up Friday, he was basically saying Facebook's not going anywhere. Facebook's still the big boy out there. And I like to say that if social media were monopoly, the people that own the houses and hotels are on Facebook. That's where the older generation is that has the money. Now, is it changing? Yes. Is Instagram great? Yes. But Facebook is still where a lot of people are that have money. My mom's not on Instagram, but she's still watching everything that goes on Facebook. You know what I mean? So Instagram is really great, and it's going to be the future, but Facebook is not going anywhere. Don't ignore it. So when you're trying to choose the 1 or 2 things that you're going to specialize in, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Google, whatever, I really recommend that you go through Instagram and share it to Facebook. Is that what most of you guys are doing, so that it's on both platforms? Good. Okay, so the cool part about LinkedIn is, a lot of people just post pictures of houses, or they just post things about the interest rates. There are agents, even in this company, that drive me crazy because they don't come to anything, and they're constantly posting business, 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 business. Nobody wants to watch that. However, you can do that on LinkedIn, because you're on LinkedIn for that reason. So LinkedIn, it's fine to be all about business, but Facebook, of course, no. Remember, Facebook is about you and wanting to know you. And remember, sorry to keep saying this, but too personal on Facebook, for every one business. Too personal, for every one business. Too personal, for every one business. I wish we could pull up Jennifer Murphy's Facebook right now just to show what stories she's got going on. Can you do that? Can you link it to the screen for me, from where you're at? It's okay if you can't. It's all good, don't worry about it. So posting again, be positive, right? Be positive. Always be positive. You're allowed to say, you guys have heard me say this before, but I remember one of the agents who's no longer with us, thank God, she posted one time and she's like, I got evicted from my apartment. Again! And I'm like, oh my God. So just make sure that whatever you are posting is positive and fun and somebody that you want to be around. I know, I was literally just like, and another thing for you guys that are newer, don't ever put down, I got my first sale. Nope, that's a no-no. Never put up that you got your first sale. All right, put up another one closed, or super happy for these clients. Never post that it's your first sale. People are guilty of that all the time, and it drives me crazy because no one wants to work with somebody that they know for a fact is brand new. You need to hide that and fake that until you make it. And you know what? How many closings have you had? Do you guys run into that? How many closings have you had in the last year? Just so you know, our team at Coldwell Bankers had thousands. And if you combine that up with my mentor, I think just my mentor and I alone probably closed like 16. Because your mentor, you did it with her or whatever, maybe she walked you through it or you went to the inspections or whatever. Just be cautious on that because they're going to try to trap you with that. The other thing is make sure that your settings on your Facebook and Instagram can be reviewed by you before those posts go through. Because have you guys ever had post things that your name got attached that you're super pissed? Because that's happened to me a lot. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody posted that. But again, I only allow certain things to go on my timeline. Because if things are going to go on my timeline that are not going to get actions or reactions, it's going to drop me to the bottom of the algorithm. So your settings need to make sure that you are reviewing everything that someone is tagging you in or posting you in. And part of your job each day is to go through and check what they did and see if you want to allow that to be on your timeline or not. Again, and that ties into things like being political. You know what I mean? If you have a political discussion with somebody, then they post you, they tag you in something, you can kiss the other half goodbye in your client base. You know what I mean? So be non-political. And I did learn that the hard way. I've even learned that I had to my sense of humor has gotten me into a lot of trouble. Am I right, Adam? And so is yours. Your sense of humor's got me in a lot of trouble. It's true. It's true. Because he would post things. I'd be like, I just posted. And I'd be like, and then I'm getting reamed and not invited back to companies and all kinds of crazy stuff. So just make sure that you're being as non-political, non-religious, boring as you possibly can be. No, I'm kidding. But you just got to be careful. You got to be careful because you're going to piss some people off. And I think I might have told you guys this before, but I had in Long Beach, there's quite a mix out there. You're either super conservative or you're super liberal out there. And so when I was out there working with them doing their social media thing, I think I told you guys, somebody posted about Trump, negatives about Trump. She got listings, but she lost all these people who liked Trump. So she had to create Facebook groups, where you have a group. You have this group and you have that group. And she would post one thing into here and one thing into there. So that way, they were never crossing over and getting her into any trouble. You guys with me? So sometimes you got to be careful. But I just say, just don't even address it. Don't even address it. You can come up with funny stuff. It's not funny stuff anyway. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. If I logged on to your Facebook page right now, do I know what you do? If I had him pull it up, the backdrop, everything, would I know what you do for a living? Okay, that's a no-no. How about you? Okay, that's a no-no.
Probably not.
Fix it. You too? How about you better? All right. All right. So that's that. Friend request, everyone. You guys know that. Everyone you come in contact with. Don't delete people. Who is that? Who did I add? Why did I add them? Don't delete them. You added them for a reason. And there are a lot of people that I like to call like silent stalkers. They're watching your stuff, but they're not commenting. They're watching your stuff,
People, yeah,
but they're not coming. You know,
She sits there and watch. She watches the drama, but she won't comment.
right. So don't delete people.
Exactly.
Don't delete people because they're watching. They're watching. And I don't know if when Tristan Ahumada said yesterday, or I mean on the call on Friday, you know, there are people that are just quietly watching, and your job with everything you do is to lead them back to your page, is to try to get them to your social media eventually so that they can watch the story that you're putting out, the theme, the plan, the schedule that you're putting out that is trying to attract business. Do you know what I'm saying? So be very cautious on, not cautious, be very aggressive on trying to bring them back to your page. But when you bring them back to your page, you have to have that nice system. That's why I'm saying 1 to 2 posts and 3 stories every day. You have to be interesting. Because people will request me that I don't know. And if they have 2 or 3, and you guys, tell me if you guys do the same thing. If they have like 1, 2, or 3 mutual friends, I will at least give them the chance. Who are they? And then I go onto their page, right? Because if they've requested you, you can go onto their page, and I look at their material, and based on their material, I decide if I want to be there or not. Because if they are a snorer and I don't know them, you know, and they live in Wisconsin, you know, or whatever, they're out. But if I see hilarious quotes, their life is a hot mess, and a couple other things, they're in. You know what I mean? I mean, so again, for you, your stuff has to be, when you friend request people, interesting enough so that if they do the same thing, if they're going through Stephanie's world and they're looking at everything, would I want to do that or not? You know what I mean? Your stuff's pretty good, by the way. I've been watching you driving in the car, you know, talking about real estate, stuff like that. I like your stuff lately. It's good. It's good. Have you had any engagement from any of, because you had one, I'm showing property, you're driving in the car, you're talking. Did you get any engagement from that?
Oh yeah, I like to do, like, ask them which one they like the best, because actually a lot of people react to this. They like to comment on the houses and look at them and tell you which one they think is the best.
That's a victory. You guys with me? So even if you're just previewing a property, which is something I recommend all you guys should be doing as new people, just looking up for a vacant house, driving over there, opening it up, walking through the house, filming a little bit about it. They don't know you're not with clients. They don't know anything. And then trying to create engagement. You know what I mean? Have you had any social media engagement, Gabby, on anything that you've been doing?
Yeah.
What's been the most successful thing you've done lately?
Well, oddly enough, my business posts actually get quite a bit of engagement. So
Why do you think your business posts get engagement?
Because people like my personality.
And she's humble. Those 2 things are the big ones. Yes, okay.
Well, my headline is your friendly neighborhood realtor.
Right.
So it's, you know,
Right.
I network quite a bit, and
I love
I've
it.
always been a huge part of the community. So.
And at the same time, you'll do one with a possum on your shoulder, and
Yeah.
you'll do one with your dog, the 3 girls. You'll have a dog and your niece or your niece, and you know, so you're still mixing it up though, right? And then you show yourself at an open house or whatever, and you're mixing it up too. So, but again, what's that? What'd you say?
Looking for Shia LaBeouf.
Looking for Shia LaBeouf, right? See?
Well, no, he was in heaven in San Antonio.
He was?
And,
Yeah.
Was he lost?
He was making appearances everywhere.
Did he get
So
lost?
No, he was camping.
Just kidding.
Up in Lake Hemet.
Oh, okay.
And for Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And so I was stuck at the open house, so I couldn't, you know, obviously run into him.
Okay.
anywhere. So I called him out and invited him to my
Oh, I like it. I like it. So again, your social media is about engagement. Thank you. So anyways, all right. So and again, last thing before we go, don't forget to follow the action calendar that we have, and it's got all the social media stuff on there. And hopefully you saw Tristan Ahumada from Lab Coat Agents, his calendar on how he believes your social media posting should be. You know, like if you do you remember Stay? You know, the things that he had. So make sure you're doing that. And last thing but not least, don't forget the selfies. Always put up selfies. You want to keep your face in front of everybody all the time. Don't give me that look. Selfies. I don't like the way I look. Too bad. That's the way we look, okay? Accept it. I don't like my voice. That is your voice, okay? There's nothing you can do. All right, Adam, it's all you, buddy. We got
Yes, folks, if you are a Coldwell Banker Associated Brokers agent, you could actually come into the office and pick up a copy of the 11 Commandments of Real Estate. You'll score some.
No, they're gone.
They're all gone?
Yeah.
Okay, I changed. You can actually order it on Amazon then.
There you go. There you go. Cool.
So
All right,
order
so-
the book on Amazon. It's a great book.
That's right. That's right. And also, if you guys want to review it, that'd be fantastic too. Right. So, anyways, all right, guys. Well, thank you. Any final questions? Because I didn't even realize we were a number. Thank you, Adam. Any other questions though before we go? Did you guys get something out of today? I hope. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next Wednesday. And some of you guys have my How to Win Friends and Influence People book that you're supposed to be bringing back to me.
I have it.
You know, you're the only good person in the entire room. Everyone else has stolen them. Wait. Here, let me see this
This
though.
is a new one though, because I spilled on yours, so I bought you a new one.
I was gonna say that doesn't look red to me.
There's coffee on your copy, so.
Did you like it though?
Brand new. I'm like almost done. I have like 60 pages.
And what did you think?
It's great. I'm gonna write all over it now that it's
This is
mine.
the best book ever written next to the Bible on the planet. I can tell you that right now. I mean, it is the best. So, How to Win Friends and Influence People. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Have yourself a great rest of the week, and go out there, get social media dialed in, get all your platforms set up. The guy to know in real estate, right? You're going to get all that branded across everything, right? Leanne, you're going to do the same, right? Get reviews. Every time you're with somebody, boom, boom, boom. Hey, Jessica, would you mind reviewing my stuff? I mean, you guys all just did it for me. You got to ask other people to do it, right? So, all right, guys. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Thank you for coming out. Talk to you soon.